Welcome, race fans, as we get ready for another exciting race here at the Tucson Butt Kicker Cup here on Saturday Night Racing. I'm your host, Al Nixon. I'm going to be alone up here in the booth tonight calling this race as we get set to go racing for 167 laps of green flag racing here at the Gateway Speedway, or the track that's also known as a Worldwide Technology Raceway. Qualifying is underway here as we begin, and everything is lining up as we look forward to bringing you another exciting race. And if this race is anything like Thursday's night's race, it should be rectacular. So let's go ahead and take a look at our standings here in the Tucson points as we enter into this race. Chris Rivera looks like he's the 62 car, and he has a 205 points. Kenny Powell with 159, Adrian Watts 155, Chris Johnson 146, Greg Wachinski 143, Wayne Grassi at 128, Josh Schaffner 124, Ken Agland 118, Barrett Uphold 117, and Joshua Connor with 114 to round out your top 10. Tonight's race is going to be three separate stages. It's 160 laps. Stage 1 at 30, stage 2 at 65, and the final stage at 160. Drivers will be given 5 additional tire sets to complete tonight's run. As qualifying begins to wrap up in tonight's field, looks like we got approximately 17 drivers that will be taking the green flag for tonight's running of the AutoZone 200. And as qualifying wraps up, let's take a look at our qualifying order. Looks like Chris Rivera has the fastest time with Clean coming up second. D. Avery qualifying third. Gary Adamson looks like he's going to be in that fourth place right now with Greg Wachinski in fifth. Joshua Schaffner is going to be in that sixth place with Kenny Powell qualifying seventh. Looks like Jay Mullins got the eighth qualifying time. Jay Hone with ninth, and Joshua O'Connor will round out your top 10. Looks like we're now going to step away for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And And welcome back, race fans, as we get set to go racing. We're going to take a look at our field here as we have a 17-car lineup. Looks like the front row is going to be Chris Severa with Eric Kling in the 95 car. The second row is going to be Don Avery with the 11 car, followed by Gary Adamson. Greg Wachinski is going to be in the inside with Joshua Schaffner. Looks like Kenny Powell is going to be in 7th with John Mullins in the 8th position. Jay Holmes is going to be in 9th with Joshua O'Connor in 10th. Al Kozlowski is going to be in that 88 car with Frank Flores in 12th. Brian Johnson will be in the 4 alongside Wayne Grassi. Chris Johnson will be in the 48 car beside Ken Agland and Robert Pattengale, rounding out this 17-car field in the 17th position. Like I said, that Thursday night race was nothing short of rectacular. That's the word that I'm going to use. I believe it was a total of 17 cautions. So if tonight's race proves to be anything like that, it's going to be nothing short of exciting. Now, I hope that these drivers have settled down a little bit and we're going to actually be able to bring us some green flag racing, because that is what we came to see. So, as Chris Severa is going to be leading us off here, going into this start of the race, we're going to sit back and relax and see how this thing all plays out. I am your host, Big Al, and I just hope everybody's having a good evening tonight as we watch this AutoZone Tucson Sound Art Butt Kicker Saturday night competition. Yeah, my co-host Nolan is not going to be with us tonight, so I just want you guys to bear with Big Al as we start to call this thing down. So hopefully we'll be able to keep this thing running. Like I said, we'll be able to get some good green flag laps in. I know these guys have been putting in a lot of laps here this week. This is a very challenging race course. It's what we consider a driver's course, is because you're not just able to just drive straight through this thing like you would be at, say, like maybe one of the super speedways. This track right here is coming in at just at about a mile, 1.25 miles. Now, some drivers are going to elect to shift. Some drivers are not going to elect not to shift. So it's going to be interesting to see, as this thing plays out, how drivers will develop their race rhythm and figure out which one of those tactics is going to work best for them as we get set to go green flag racing. As lights are out on the pace car, which indicates that we are down to 1 to go. Now this racetrack is uniquely different at both ends, where you have a tighter group at 1 and 2 and a wider group at 3 and 4, so it just always you never know really what you're going to get. So sometimes drivers are going to probably try to drive it in there a little harder than maybe they should, and maybe that'll wash up. You know, you just want these cars to turn like on a dime, but that doesn't always happen. Sometimes as you enter into that corner, if you have too much speed, it'll push up like a dump truck instead of turn like a F1 car. So you'll start to see that drivers are going to actually slide up into each other as we get going on this thing. As we are set to go green, Chris Severa is going to take us down and take that green flag, we are racing. As Severa takes the turn 1, he goes down and he will have Kling on the outside. Kling's just going to fall in. Looks like he's going to try to find a place to get himself situated, as that 11 car, Don Avery, is going to try to sneak his nose in there. Looks like driver's going to waste no time getting a little bit in position here. Probably not going to see a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing, but that is a possibility. That's a very distinct possibility, as we see Greg Wachinski here on the move as he's trying to get his number 5 car up the track a little bit. Greg Severa just sets into a race pace as we lap 1 complete in the books here as the AutoZone 200. Further down the line, we'll see that STP car, that number 12 car of Jay Holmes. Jay's been having some pretty decent luck this season, as he's not actually been able to stay out of a lot of stuff. He's actually been able to bring home a couple of really good finishes, so hopefully he'll be able to stay out of trouble tonight and get that 12 car somewhere up there in the podium. Now don't forget, as we start to run these laps, as we're going to start to go in, what we're going to find out is drivers are going to start to kind of kind of lay off that pace a little bit. Like I said, try to find that race rhythm. That was something that I think that during stage one of the Thursday night race, we probably got to a little bit. But as that race started to go on, drivers seemed to be a little bit impatient. That not seeming to be the case at all here tonight as we start racing. Looks like everybody's just kind of getting in where they fit in. Now, that's great news for Severa, as he is looking like he's definitely putting on a clinic with a nice little runaway pace here. If he can keep that Ford, that 62 Ford dialed in, I definitely think we'll probably be talking to him sometime at one of these stage ends. Now, as everything seems to be taking race pace, let's go ahead and step away from here for a second and go ahead and get a word.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And welcome back as we continue to go. Currently on lap 7 of 160, great Chris Severa still leading a blistering pace as he does have the fastest lap so far at a 33.748. Eric Klingdo not too far behind as he just turned the fastest lap of the last lap, and he's going to probably just try to sit back here and figure out exactly what's going on. As we go back into the pack here a little bit, and I want to look at this 50 car, Josh Shaw. Now, Josh has been having some great runs, but, you know, just like everybody else, he's also had a little bit of bad luck. So right now he is currently in 6th place and started in 6th. Looks like he's actually got a pretty fast car tonight. So hopefully we'll be calling his name a little bit later on as we progress into this little race fast. Now we got a little bit of a split in the pack from Schaffner back as these guys are starting to come into race pace now. What's happening there exactly, I'm not real sure. Like I said, some of these guys are going to actually run into the corners and they're going to shift. Some of these guys are actually going to drive through the corner. So let's take a look right along with Chris Severa and let's try to figure out what his shift pattern is, and then maybe we'll ride along with somebody more in the back of the pack so we kind of get an idea of what's going on inside that car. Yeah, just interesting as we just took a ride along with Chris Severa as well as Al Kelslowski. Just interesting to see that as Severa comes in, you'll notice that on his gear shift, he was actually going down to third gear. Now we rode along with Al Kelslowski. Al wasn't shifting; he was staying in fourth gear. So a lot of different drivers trying a lot of different techniques because there is no one way that's correct to get around this racetrack. But as we're continuing to roll around, looks like that 39 car kind of slipped back off the pace a little bit. Not sure if he just is trying to find his groove a little bit or what, but we'll have to watch Joshua O'Connor. Joshua O'Connor, another driver that we don't really get to say his name a lot. He actually was doing pretty good last Saturday night. I do believe he probably got kind of caught up in something. So hopefully Josh will be able to get that 39 Gamer Toyota back on pace and be able to close that distance a little bit. Because one thing you don't really want to do is you just don't want to start to fall behind. Because at this track, especially if my predictions are correct, I think we're going to have a lot of green flag racing. You're just not going to have that opportunity to say make up those laps again. Surprise though, as we're coming into 15 laps here, halfway through that first stage, that we have not even had a caution. Now, as the race continues through this first stage, drivers are going to be able to actually figure out how that track temperature is going to affect those tires and handle it. I do know that Thursday night's race, there was not as much of an issue on tires as more so as it was on fuel. We'll see if that turns out to be the same case, as Kenny Powell is going to go ahead and show his nose on the inside of that 36 car, Gary Adamson. Powell looks like he's going to carry that momentum as he's going to complete this pass. Looks like with no problem at all, and Gary Adamson's just going to fall back on the inside. Now, Gary might just show his nose on the inside and try to pass back under, but I think he's just going to think better of it and just kind of follow Powell on around, as Powell now finds himself up to fourth place in that G&G number 24 Toyota. Looks like everybody's just kind of hanging out right now. You know, nobody's really doing anything that's really spectacular, I guess. Everybody just, like I said, just trying to find that race crew. Let's take a look inside. Let's ride along with Robert Pattengill for a little bit and see if we can't figure out his shift patterns. Looks like we're coming up to 20 laps here. There's going to be 10 to go under this first stage if everything continues like it does. Chris Severa is just out there really putting on a clinic today. So he's really got that car dialed in, that 62 Ford. So it's really going to be interesting because right now it's looking like it's his race to lose, as drivers are going to start trying to make a move here as we get ready to come down to the end of this first stage, because those stage points are going to be available. So the big thing is, you know, up to 60 points, I believe, up for grabs for drivers at the end of this event. So You got to go get them. It's just not going to be something where you're just going to be able to kind of sit back and wait until the end. Drivers going to have to be a little bit more aggressive, I think, than what we're seeing right now if we're going to kind of make this happen. Speaking of aggressive, looks like Joshua O'Connor is actually kind of creeping up a little bit there on Pattingale as he's starting to these guys are getting a little bit more racy in the back. And like I said, I'm not sure if that's just a Hamlin thing or drivers just trying to figure this track out. But round and round we go. As you'll see, that Jay Holmes actually washing up a little bit there on the side, and that's what we're talking about. Is these guys are actually getting ready to come into the side. I was watching Pattingale. Pattingale's actually running through all 5 gears. So we went with Severa third gear to 4th gear. Then we rode with Kozlowski 4th gear. Then we rode with Pattingale, and O'Connor all the way up to 5th gear. So it's just a lot of different techniques, and as time drivers putting in on this track with their setups, actually able to dial it in a little bit, they get those cars handling, in the best possible condition, if you will, allows them to actually just kind of move through this track with ease. Because you don't really want to be jerking on the wheel. You want to be as smooth as possible going in and out of the turns, because that's where you're going to get your speed from. Anything other than that, you're just going to be shrugging speed off. As Joshua O'Connor looks like he gets a little bit loose there. Coming up with 23 laps to go, just 5 laps until pit road's going to be closed. Yeah, not as big of a field as we had on Thursday night as well. It's looking like this field's only 17. I think we were upwards of 30 cars in that Thursday night field, which is also going to be probably an indicator why we don't have as many cautions. Drivers having pretty much the whole track to maneuver around, actually make moves, take their time, set up and make passes. So that's going to be advantageous for them, although not quite as exciting for us. But as this thing rolls around, I think we're going to find that we might just have more cars available at the end of this thing to be able to make a run. As we're seeing Wayne Grossi right now. As looks like Wayne is fighting. He's running back there a little bit in 13th position. So Wayne Grassi, another guy that Wayne's had some bad luck around here. So tonight we're kind of hoping that with this relaxed field that Wayne might actually find himself in a little bit of good favor and can get that 7 car at least in the top 10. That would be really great for that Grassi crew if they could actually get that 7 car up in there. But once again, Chris Severa right now sporting almost a 3-second lead on that second place car, Don Avery. As we were looking to see if Kenny Powell's going to actually be able to close that distance on him. So usually Powell and Johnson, they have pretty good cars. I know Powell's probably, he's been running pretty strong at this track. He had a third place finish on Thursday night in the Butt Kicker Cup. So hopefully he'll be able to either one-up that or duplicate that performance. Looks like Josh Softner is actually getting that 50 Toyota up to move there as he passes Gary Adamson on the inside. And pit road is going to be closed. Pit road is going to be closed as we are entering the end of stage 1. Field seems to be spread out pretty good. Guys are not really jockeying for position or trying that much. One more to go in stage one in the Tucson Sound Art Butt Kicker Saturday Night Cup, as we are going live for the AutoZone 200. Chris Severa just having to make his way around this track just a couple more times before he can actually go ahead and take that stage win. Josh Schaffner closing in on Kenny Powell. It looks like he's going to try to show his nose. Hopefully he'll have enough time. Looks like he just might be able to make a good run for it here to battle Powell. But looks like Powell's going to hold him off. Kenny Powell's going to hold him off for that third place position. So at the end of stage one, looks like the point positions, Chris Severa is going to take the victory there on stage one. Don Avery second. Kenny Powell in the 24 car is going to be third. Josh Schaffner fourth. Eric Kling in fifth. Gary Adamson's going to be in sixth. Brian Johnson seventh. John Mullins eighth. Chris Johnson ninth. And Al Kelslowski will round out the points positions. Stage one complete in the books. Let's go ahead and take a break and get a word from our sponsors.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
And welcome back, race fans, as we are right smack dab in the middle of our stage one caution. That stage one winner, Chris Severa, definitely putting the hammer down as he led every single lap from qualifying on the pole all the way through to actually taking that taking the pace flag there for the caution stage win. Kenny Powell's actually looks like he's found himself gaining a spot coming out of the pit road, which is going to be awesome for him. So looks like now as we get ready to go back to green flag racing, you know, cautions could possibly breed cautions maybe. Getting ready to go into stage two. A lot of drivers now know exactly what to expect from their cars. Kind of got an idea of where they're going to go. Probably getting those setups dialed in. Temperature hadn't changed much from race time, as we're still sitting there showing that wind's still coming out of the northeast at 11 miles an hour. Lights are off on the pace car, which signifies that we will be going back racing here. Drivers are stacked up, breast to breast, ready to go. Chris Severa leads the field and comes down to the green flag. And we're off. Severa wasting no time to get that 62 car up to speed. Looks like Kenny Powell got sleeping a little bit there on the restart. Not sure what's going on with that. Is he just really is going to give that position back to Josh Schaffner, who's actually now finding himself up in that second position with that 50 car. Good to go, Josh. As the field is starting to spread itself out back in the back, drivers are going to be trying to jockey for that position. We didn't really see a whole lot of shuffling or moving around there during that first stage, but I guarantee you that's going to change here in the second stage as we really get ready to get into the heat of the race. Now, you know, we got that first segment out of the way. Drivers now, they're starting to get in there, get a little bit more comfortable now. Let's start to push this thing a little bit harder, maybe a little bit faster. Probably didn't have a whole lot of tire wear as we see that a little three-wide racing action going on back there as they're trying to figure this out. Looking like that's going to be Gary Adamson there in that monster car. So he's going to try to get himself lined up against Brian Johnson there on the inside. Johnson staying riding that high line. If you can ride the high line here, that's pretty awesome because you just don't leave yourself a whole lot of room once you go into those corners there. But looking like these guys are having no trouble navigating their way around this racetrack, giving each other plenty of room. A lot of courteous driving going on. Doesn't seem like anybody out there's got their hair on fire. Everybody just seems to be really, really nice. Almost like a Sunday drive kind of, if you understand what I'm saying. Severa just taking his time, though, as he's just going to go ahead and looks like he's going to let that big dog eat. He's just letting that Ford go and running that good at. And it's a big difference between the air that he's getting and, say somebody back in the back like the 28 car of, say, Frank Flores. You know, if you're in the middle, it's a lot more going on because you got the disruptive air, you got cars all around you. Severa's not really having to deal with any of that. Seems like he's just out there by himself. But as Kenny Powell's behind him now, as he's made the pass on Josh Schaffner, maybe he's going to actually catch Severa, maybe get a little bit more of that Toyota emblem, a little bit more cleaner view there for that gas and go Toyota. Severa probably not liking the fact that Powell's closing him down so much. He really hadn't had any competition in that first stage, but like we said, as we get ready to get into that second stage, drivers going to actually go ahead and get their elbows out a little bit and let that big dog eat. Powell's just, like in golf, he's just going to school right now. He's just watching Severa, just watching what he does, watching his line. And I think he's just going to bide his time, just stay back there and don't let him get too far away. And hopefully, as we get a little bit later on down in this run, he'll be able to give him maybe a run for his money or just make it a little bit more exciting there up front. But if I know Josh Schaffner right, I know Schaffner's not going to waste any time. If he could get up there, he'd definitely going to try to make it a little bit exciting there with Chris Severa. Also, Don Avery. Don Avery has, as I was watching these guys put up their practice times, I mean, Don Avery was putting up some blistering laps. So he was actually pretty much in the top 3 or 4 of that leaderboard the entire time as we went through our practice sessions. I know a lot of drivers probably hot lapping it, but yeah, definitely if that's anything to show what he's going to have a little bit later on for us, I'd be interested to see how that works out. Another car that's actually on the move there is Greg Wachinski. Greg qualified 5th. Looks like now he's just kind of chilling back in the 10th place. So another would be interesting to see what's going to happen with Greg. Is Greg going to dial it in? Is he just waiting patiently? I'm really surprised that we haven't had any cautions just yet, which is pretty awesome. Just going to make for some exciting racing. And this here stage is going to be that second short stage, and then we'll get ready to get into that longer stage once stage 2 is complete. these guys are going to be able to average about 54 miles, 54 laps rather on a tank. So that's not an issue right here in the first two, but it's definitely at the rate this race is going, that is definitely going to prove to be a little bit of a strategy thing as we get ready to go into that third stage. So if I keep bringing it up, it's just because I'm super, super excited about it. So as we're just continuing to go racing, looks like Josh Schaffner and Don Avery are just kind of going to be riding in line there, just waiting to see how this thing kind of plays out. Nothing really going on. Let's go ahead and maybe let's ride along with Kenny Powell here a little bit and see how Kenny's tackling this track. And we are just enjoying this race, guys. These next gen cars are really been something that's pretty awesome here for these guys to be able to drive, just to try to figure out. There's a lot of things that these guys are doing on the setups that maybe we don't see at home or up here in the booth, but just what goes into this and the amount of preparation that these drivers are putting in is pretty dang spectacular. So I think we're gonna crank it up a little bit. We're gonna actually kind of ride along, and if you got those that butt kicker, this would be the perfect time to crank it up. Looks like the most exciting race that we actually got on the track right now is that battle for 10th position there we got going on between the 5 car of Greg Wachinski and the 88 car of Al Kozlowski. Now, a name that we hadn't said a whole lot about tonight so far, Chris Johnson. And everybody knows Chris Johnson, our current points champion. If ever Johnson's going to be involved, guys, it's just going to be some exciting racing going on. So, not a whole lot going on in the front, but definitely got a battle here heating up as these guys are going to be trying to secure those last stage points here as we get ready to go into this into the final stages. Looking like we're getting ready to be, we got 12 laps or so before we actually end this stage. So 10 before actually we throw the flag. Now that these guys have got their cars heated up, Al Kozlowski especially, looks like he's actually going to go ahead and try to get this thing to stick to that line, as Wachinski, as earlier when they came up, wasn't really looking like he was trying to share that race space. And that's what I'm talking about. Looks like these guys are going to actually start to get a little bit racy here. So pardon me, but I get a little bit excited because sometimes these cars just get a little bit wider than other times when they're going around these turns. Your race leader, Chris Averdo, is still got a good half-second lead over second place Cannon Powell. Josh Hoffner's going to be right behind him, bringing up that third place position, and we know that these guys are definitely going to be trying to fight as well, so they can try to get some of those much-needed stage points. Still single file for the time being, but looking like at Wachinski's car, looks like he's got a little trade and paint action going on the side. Well, actually, that wasn't Wachinski. That was Adamson's car, looking like he had either hit the wall or maybe made contact with another driver. It might have even been that 88 car. So it looked like they kind of got a little sideways there together early on while we were doing our little ride along. Not sure what has happened to Joshua O'Connor, but it looks like he is going to be our only car that's going to be laps down. So Josh O'Connor looks like he's going to be 3 laps down. With that 12 car, Jay Home not looking like he's running too well there, as him and Robert Pattingill are just kind of hanging out in the rear. I know these guys are probably going to be excited when this stage ends, so at least they can get some TLC on those race cars there, especially that 12 car. Looks like he got kind of banged up a little bit. All right, now it looks like that 48 car Johnson's about ready to go ahead and get his head in the game. Let's see if he can actually prepare to make some moves there on Kozlowski. As these guys are definitely they're in the top 10, but definitely want to try to see if they can actually get these things up here to the top 5, maybe for Johnson or what. Something's going to have to give, so we'll see how this all plays out as we continue on. Coming up with about 7 to go left in this stage. Yeah, Al Kozlowski. Looks like Al's got his car kind of dialed in a little bit. He's keeping it down low on the line there, and actually Johnson can't seem to close that distance. So, I think he's going to probably start to try to get in there a little bit more on Mullins. I think I definitely looks like he's thirsty for that position. And we are 5 to go right here in this stage right here. 5 to go in the second stage. Chris Bear still out there out front with more than a half a second lead on that second place car, Kenny Powell. Looks like our biggest race there is going to be back there with that 36 car. Looks like Frank Flores and Gary Adamson and Al Kozlowski are all going to be. Oh, and there's Wayne Grossi as he's trying to come into the frame there. Driver's trying to make that move there, trying to get that final move. You know, nothing to save here. It's time to let it all hang out so they can try to go up there and gobble up some of those points that are available. Looks like Adamson having to check up just a little bit as he almost ran in there a little bit too hard on Grossi. Grossi's going to show the inside on Frank Flores on that 28 car. Going to go ahead and see if he can't make that move. Grossi looks like he's on the hunt there. Maybe he might be trying to get in there and get him a couple of those stage points that are available. As we are coming to lap 63, pit road will be closed. As we are coming to lap 63, pit road will be closed, which means there are 2 laps left in this stage. Just 2 laps left for these drivers to take an opportunity to maybe make up some positions. Just not wanting to see a caution right now. I tell you, that would really not be the way to end this stage. Just want to try to go ahead and keep this thing as green as possible for as long as possible. Drivers doing an excellent job tonight of giving each other plenty of room, not crowding each other, making sure that the fans can actually see good green flag racing. And that's just going to be even more exciting as we get ready to wrap this stage up and go into that third and final stage where, you know, pit strategy is going to become even more and more important. Looks like Chris Severa's leading the way now as he's going to have to do this maybe one more time to see if he's going to be able to take this thing home. Wayne Grossi at this point is really going to be doing everything he can to battle that 64 car of John Mullins, because even though it is 1 point, you know, that is 1 point that you're going to get in 10th place, but not 11th place as Grossi is on the inside. Now that 64 car is not just going to roll over and play dead. Looks like he's going to try to be a little bit too competitive as well as we're coming up with 1 to go here on this stage 2. Frank Flores also going to try to get a little racy and try to show a nose to the 64 car. And he's going to make it around the 64 car also, or maybe not. As Chris Severa just has a couple more turns before he's going to go ahead and put this stage in the books for himself and secure his 2nd stage win of tonight. Just like that, looks like stage 2 is going to be in the books. All right, stage 2 winner, Chris Severa, as well as your stage 1 winner. Stage 2 points people, looks like Chris Severa first place. Kenny Powell in 2nd with Josh Schaffner 3rd. Don Avery in 4th. Brian Johnson in 5th. Eric Kling in 6th place. Greg Wachinski 7th. 8th place Chris Johnson. 9th place Al Kozlowski. In 10th place Wayne Grossi. That's going to round out the points positions for that 2nd stage. We're going to go ahead and take a break from our sponsors here and get ourselves a little bit something to drink.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
I'm alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
And welcome back, race fans, as we are set to go green for this third and final stage of your Tucson Sound Art Cup Saturday night butt kicker, AutoZone 200. I'm your host, Al Nixon, and I've been calling the shots here. It looks like we're getting ready to go into that third and final stage. So far, this race has been caution-free with the exception of the two stage cautions, which both cautions have been won by our pole sitter and current leader, Chris Severa. As the caution car comes down, Severa's getting ready to take us green. Severa's off.
Green flag.
Got a little bit of a jump there on the field, and I think that's going to be very important because as we go into this third stage, what driver's going to really be jockeying for now is track position. This is not going to be that time where you're going to be able to actually, hunt somebody down, so to speak, or actually drive them down. So drivers are going to have to be aggressive, secure that track position, and actually start then to figure out what that pit strategy is going to be. And I'm not even going to try to speculate as to who's going to do what on pit strategy, because the biggest thing that's got to happen in order for that to even work is we're going to have to stay green. Now, these cars are going to get up to 54 laps on a tank of gas, which is going to make it interesting because if you do basic math, I'm from North Carolina, so we have to do it a little slower. That means that they're going to have to stop at least once. So the interesting thing is going to see which drivers are going to come in closer to the midpoint, or if drivers are going to come in. Some drivers might even have to try to pit twice. I don't know how this is going to work. We'll just run through the field real quick. Right now, our leaders, Chris Severa, followed by Kenny Powell. Don Avery's in third. Josh Hoffner's in fourth. Brian Johnson has found his way up to fifth place. Eric Kling currently in sixth. Greg Wachinski making his way up to the top 10 and seventh. Wayne Grassi in eighth place. Very good from Wayne. We got Frank Flores into the top 10 now in ninth place. Gary Adamson in 10th place. Chris Johnson in 11th. Ken Aylin bringing in 12th. Al Keselowski is going to be in 13th. Robert Paddingale's in 14th. Jay Hone is going to be in 15th. And John Mullins 5 laps down. And Joshua O'Connor, currently the only car that is not on the track. So the biggest thing for us to watch right now is simply going to be fuel consumption and tire savings, because it's going to be interesting to see when these guys do come down pit road, how many guys are going to go for 4, is anybody going to go for 2, is anybody just going to do fuel only. The interesting thing though, as we look up front, is Kenny Powell is doing exactly what I said, and that's being a lot more aggressive and racy with Chris Severa. Severa just enjoying those first two stages virtually unscathed, definitely finding that he might have his hands full here a little bit as we get ready to, get into this third and final stage. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles Powell. Is he gonna run his race, or is he going to actually have to maybe fight for his position a little bit? As green flag racing continues here, just looking at these guys, I'm just we got some guys, like I said, that are actually up here in this Saturday Night Cup that we're not used to actually have, getting the opportunity to say their name. Eric Clean, he's one of the guys. He's a rookie to this series this year. Definitely not a rookie overall by racing, just new to the Butt Kicker Cup. So it's good to be able to say his name, mixing up a little bit. I think Don Avery also. Ken Allen, absolutely. Ken's been running pretty consistent since he's been a member. He's always definitely been up front. As Wayne Grossi still going to try to make him a position as he's battling Wayne Grossi for position. I meant Greg Wachinski for position. That 48 car of Chris Johnson there is actually looking on the inside of that 28 car flank for Flores in order to try to make the move. And if Grossi's probably going to just try to follow Johnson, because Johnson seems to be on the move now. Like I said, he was kind of laying back dormant there in those first two stages. This coming in to finish 10th, I believe, in the second stage. But now, definitely getting that G&G Mustang on the road there, looking like he's going to try to hunt up a little bit. The battle between first and second being a lot closer in this so far in this third stage than it had been previous. It's good to see that these guys are actually going to not let Severa run away with this thing, kind of keep him reined in a little bit, so that way it'd be easier to deal with him a little bit later on. The biggest thing, though, that these guys, because right now it's just green flag racing. Drivers are just in that zone. Just you're going around, you're watching, you're hitting your marks, you're listening for your beeps, you're checking your spotter. But now, when you get ready to stop these cars on pit road, that's where it's going to be easy. We saw Chris Johnson actually take himself out of race contention just last week by having a bobble on pit road. We also saw Severa actually be able to turn a unfortunate set of circumstances in a caution and actually help him secure a race win. So, going to be interesting to see how that plays out tonight, because so far, looking like the only thing that's going to be able to maybe throw a flag on my parade is going to be a caution, which we hadn't had, like I said, again, so far in the first two stages. It's interesting to see that Wayne Grossi right there actually turned in our fastest lap time on that last lap. Drivers' lap times definitely on a little bit more of the conservative side as we are starting to get into this third and final stage. It doesn't seem like everybody's kind of out there running, say, as fast as they were initially. Everybody seems to be kind of more in conserve mode. So that's kind of looks like what the idea is going to be here. It's kind of like follow the leader, save tires, save fuel. Just kind of keep yourself available here. Hopefully somebody will make a mistake or something so you can be available to at least have a shot at winning this thing here coming up on the end. It's like Brian Johnson's also going to be one of our biggest moves, qualifying 13th, and now he's finding himself running consistently in the top five. Something that's got to be a good feeling for him, as having to claw his way through this. This just isn't a track that's really easy to say make up positions. So a lot of guys did some pit road strategies. There was some shuffling around positions on coming out of there, and now it just looks like we're just all going to be single file racing. So let's go ahead and do a crank it up again and just maybe get a little ride along here as we can try to figure out, as to speculate on to when our green flag pit stop should be occurring. All right, guys, so we are back as we just rode through the field, giving you a look of the in-car view so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on. While we were doing that, I've been sitting here just trying to figure out exactly what the pit strategy is going to be. And so I think we are possibly within 10 laps or so of actually seeing some green flag pit stops. The most exciting thing you're ever going to see in any kind of automobile racing is a green flag pit stop, because everything has to be perfect. So as we get ready to start our green flag pit stops, we're going to see exactly who can capitalize the most and who actually is going to lose the most. Looks like right now these guys are from the 28th car up, they're actually racing. So it's that group is pretty tight with Frank Flores and Gary Adamson. So it'd be interesting to see when these guys are going to pit, if they're going to actually kind of surprise each other, if they're actually going to all come in at the same time. Chris Rivera, though, has actually been able to stretch his lead out a little bit over Don Avery, as Kenny Powell has dropped back to third place. Chris Rivera now having almost a 1.7 second lead, so he's actually got a little bit of a cushion going again. Got to be pretty enjoyable for him not seeing those guys all up in his rearview mirror, but yet he is still in the good air. We only have two drivers still that are out of competition. That's going to be John Mullins in the 64 car and Joshua O'Connor in the 39 car. Not sure what happened to those two gentlemen, but they both withdrew from competition. Jay Hone looked like he was able to get a lot of the damage fixed on his car during that last caution, as he was in his pit stall for almost 33 seconds. So hopefully he'll be able to be a little bit more competitive now that he has got his number 12 Ford fixed. Not a lot of action going on around the race course. Like I said, everybody's just kind of finding their groove, biding their time, and we're just along for the ride here, waiting on our pit windows to start opening. Interesting to note, though, that Chris Johnson is actually in that 48 car. He's actually found himself up into the top 10 as earlier. He's currently running 7th place. And seems to be making a little bit of stride. It'll be interesting to see as this thing flips on the other side of 100, how these drivers are going to hold up for the long haul. Wayne Grossi's also on that. Grossi having himself a banner day. Like I said, he's probably had some of the worst luck out of most of our cup drivers here. But tonight, if he can hold this thing together and keep the wheels on it, man, he might actually find himself not only with a top 10, but possibly could even find himself in the top 5. Just going to have to see how this plays out, especially with those green flag pit stops. As we are coming to 60 to go, we're definitely going to be within 10 of, I believe to be in 10 of that green flag of the pit window. Looks like Gary Adamson and Frank Flores battling right there pretty hard for that 11th position. Gary's also got a nice little racing stripe down his car. Like he made a little bit of contact with the wall sometime through this competition. Looks like Flores did as well. You know, the funny thing about the walls on these racetracks, you know, is you're just driving out there minding your own business, and I tell you, sometimes it seems like they just reach out there and grab you and just pull you right in real tight, and, you know, then let you go before you get to the turn. Definitely happened to me a time or two. Powell's definitely dropping back a little bit off of the pace. Now, he was actually up all over the bumper there of Chris Rivera for a while. Now, he has since traded places with Avery, and looks like I don't know if he's lining himself for his pit strategy, maybe Maybe he's saving his tires. Just going to have to see how this one plays out. Josh Schaffner's still running there in the 4th place. That 50 car still running pretty strong. Don Avery's just putting down the fastest lap of that last run there at about 35.725 seconds. So what we're finding is we're still off the paces just a little bit. So we can see a little degradation in that tire wear, but that's to be expected. You know, the freshies aren't going to last forever. How about Robert Pattingill having himself a banner night as he's closing the gap there on Frank Flores? That would be an awesome place for Pattingill, who right now finds himself in 13th place. But he is, like I said, definitely look like he's going to make it a race with that 28 car Frank Flores. Be really good for Robert. He's another guy out there that's had some pretty unfortunate luck getting caught up in wrecks as such. So there's a little bit of a wobble there, but you know, he's definitely going to try to find himself. He can smell it now. You know, when you get in there that close, it's just you can smell that position. I think he's going to try to make a move as he shows himself to the inside. Flores is going to try to hold on to that thing, try to keep it tight and straight. Not going to contest as Pattingill will secure that 12th position from Frank Flores. Now, also Flores in danger of losing another slot to Ken Aland, as Ken Aland is actually also in the process of trying to close that gap. And we are officially in our pit window. So if there were to be an unforeseen caution that were to wave at this point, drivers would actually be able to come in, take tires, and finish this race on the green flag positions if that were to permit. So now the interesting thing is going to be is to see who's going to stay out late, who's going to come in early. Because the worst thing you want to do is actually, you know, come in early or stay out late and then there be a caution. Because a caution right now is just not what anybody wants to see. So we're going to hope that everybody can keep these things straight and off the wall. And we'll actually be able to get ourselves into good racing. As Kenny Powell in that 24 car continues to slip down. Powell considerably off the pace. He's got something going on with that G&G Toyota. Not sure quite what it is, but he's definitely either he's got to get it straight or we'll be seeing him on pit road pretty soon. Which that's going to allow Grassi to go ahead and continue to creep his car up to that top 5 position. As you see Chris Johnson right now showing the way, and he's definitely going to be trying to put the hammer down and catch Brian Johnson. These guys right now, it's go time. As we're starting to see our first cars come down pit road. Looks like the first taker is going to be Greg Wachinski, as we got Wachinski now on pit road. Is this going to inspire other drivers to come in? Otherwise, is everybody going to continue to stay out? Interesting call. We'll see who follows now. As Chris Severa continues to lead as we are coming up to 4:50 to go. Let's go ahead and run through your race field one more time as we got Chris Severa currently in the first place. Don Avery in that 11 car is in second. Josh Schaffner finding himself up in third. Eric Kling now in fourth. Brian Johnson now in fifth. Chris Johnson in sixth. Wayne Grassi, seventh. Kenny Powell all the way back to eighth. Al Koslowski now in ninth. Gary Adamson in 10th. Robert Pattingill in 11th. Frank Flores, 12th. Ken Aland, 13th. Jay Hone, 14th. And Greg Wachinski now finding himself a lap down as our first car to have pitted so far. Now looks like we have another taker to pit road. Looks like that's going to be Al Keselowski. As Al's coming in now, we'll see if he's going to get himself 4 tires or if he's just going to roll. I think everybody's taking 4 in fuel. I believe that's the smart play here. Just it doesn't really seem to be any reason to not take 4 tires. I think now it's just a matter of pit order. So it's going to be interesting to see when Severa is going to actually come in, if he's going to actually stay out later, or if he's just going to try to. Well, I think Severa is pitting as our leader is on pit road. Now Severa is actually taking himself out of the equation, so we'll see if he's going to take 4 tires in fuel. Green flag pit stops underway. Now just a matter of watching to see if everybody can get in and out cleanly. As the 12 car finds himself coming down pit road. And Chris Johnson making his way down pit road. Not sure what's going on there with Gary Adamson as he washes up the racetrack pretty high. I mean, maybe signaling that he might be coming down pit road here pretty soon as well. Looks like the 95. I've got a caution, and that is exactly what we didn't want to see. Looks like let's see what happened on that. Let's see exactly what took place to bring that caution out. Was it the 95 car? Well, that's just going to change everything up. That is, like I said, that is the worst thing that anybody wanted to see. Those early pit guys going to, stay out now. Don't really have to, even the leader. So that's going to definitely shake stuff up a little bit. As we are on the caution, we're going to go ahead and take a step away. Go ahead and take care of some sponsorship business. That way we'll be able to resume green flag racing, hopefully to the end of this thing.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
And welcome back, everybody, as we are still under caution for the first time other than our two stage cautions. Still not quite sure what happened. Looks like that 95 car might have found himself out of the way. But definitely, this is going to change things up a little bit for us here. Now, we definitely can go the remainder of these laps under green. No one will need to pit again. It's just going to be a matter of how racy is this going to get. Looks like everybody had an opportunity to come down pit road. Kenny Powell looked like he had some significant damage on his 24 cars as he was in the pits for quite a while. Everybody else seemingly coming out just okay. As we get ready to get these cars resituated, lined up. So hopefully we'll find that this caution was just an isolated event. You know, hopefully we won't pop the seal here and end up, you know, having 4 or 5 cautions towards the end of this thing, and we'll be able to keep it green and clean. As those drivers get in the wave around or going to take their place, looks like we'll go ahead and start lining these things up again 2 by 2. As the lights are out on the pace car, which indicates that we will be going green flag racing here at the end of this lap, which is going to put us at 41 to go. This race scheduled for 106 laps. We will have 1 attempt at a green-white checker if we need that. Overtime rules apply. But other than that, if everybody, it's time to put the hammer down. I mean, this is what you came for. Right now, there's really no reason to save anything. Burn them down. I mean, that's just it. So I think we're going to see a lot more aggressive racing as we are getting ready to go green. And I think we're going to shake it up a little bit. As the pace car is off. Chris Rivera leading the field down as he gets that jump off of the start, and away he goes. And he's definitely going to try to go ahead and get him a run. I don't think he's going to look back at this at all. I think he's just going to put the hammer down and go, go, go. Schaffner going to be coming up around there on the outside, trying to definitely make himself racy. It'll be interesting to see if drivers are going to take the opportunity to get 2 by 2, or if they're going to, or single file, or they're going to go 2 by 2. I think at this stage in the race, though, we're going to see drivers get racing because you got to get yourself up there at least to the top 10. You're going to get something out of this. This is the time to do it. A lot of guys got clean cars. Some guys have got some rubbing stripes on their cars, but it seems like for the most part, we got a pretty clean field with a lot of drivers still in contention for this thing. Watching Kenny Powell, he doesn't seem to be suffering too much from his woes as he continues to front himself right now, battling in the top 10. Powell looks like he's battling pretty hard against Ken Aland. Like I said, Aland found himself up here in the top 10, so he's actually got a pretty strong car. Powell had some issues. We'll be interested to see how patient Powell is with Aland, because the longer he stays back here, the further those guys are going to get up there. So this isn't really, you know, the time where you want to be caught in traffic, so to speak. I think you want that clean air like Severa's got. But he's not really able to shake too much of a stick at Schaffner. Schaffner's still able to hold him to just under a second for that lead place time. Kenny Powell, though, still trying to inch even further into the top 10 as these guys are definitely stacking up. Looks like he's going to try to take in Aland to the inside. Aland, thinking better of it, going to go ahead and let Powell pass to the inside. Now, you know, to me, it seems like if I can drive my car, I want to drive my car. I mean, so I'm surprised that more people aren't kind of throwing it in the corner more, I guess, being a little bit more aggressive. I guess that just does show us the reason why I'm in the booth instead of on the track, as well as how much time we truly do have left to race. But if this thing were to end like it sets now, a lot of drivers are going to find themselves in a very good points position for this week. Maybe some guys that aren't even used to getting points, like my main man Wayne Grossi again. You know, Wayne's finding himself in the top 5. That's got to be a good feeling for that camp. You know, they battle hard out here week in, week out, just trying to get that thing across the line. And if he can keep it out of trouble tonight, I definitely think he'll bring home a very, very good bag of biscuits for that team. Now, the one driver that wants this thing to stay green, that's going to be Chris Severa, because even though Schaffner's is still trying to dial him in, he has a better shot of getting away with this thing if it can stay green. You know, nobody wants to get boxed up again, because that's just going to give us a greater shot at seeing that late race caution. But Severa, I mean, leading pretty much every lap of this thing, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3, is once again proving himself to be the car to beat. Now, Don Avery, a name that we don't really say that much, is finding himself up in that second position. Going to be able to see if he's actually able to close the gap on Severa or not, as it looks like Schaffner might have ran into a little bit of problems. I don't know if maybe he burned his stuff up, or maybe he just kind of got out of line a little bit, but it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Battles continue later deeper in the field, as Kenny Powell has already found himself up currently to that 6th place position. Robert Paddington finding himself in the top 10. Definitely going to be a great race for those guys if they can actually find himself into a points position at the end of this thing. Frank Flores is barely holding on to that 10th place position, as he has seemed to be falling off the pace just a little bit, or maybe he's just trying to keep these guys in sight. Looks like Severa, though, just able to eke out his lead just ever so slightly over Avery each lap. So in order for something to happen, I guess somebody's going to have to make something happen. I guess that's the easiest way to say that. But I don't think Avery's done just yet. I think he's probably going to try to definitely see how close he can get to Severa. But somebody's going to have to get up there in order to see how this thing actually going to play out, as Kenny Powell now finds himself in 5th position. Looks like Harry Adamson and Robert Paddingale having fun there, swapping positions. Ken Aland seems to be slipping back a little bit, as he finds himself currently in 8th place. Coming to 30 to go at the line. Still anybody's race. Still too soon to tell. So, the caution did come out. There's 30 laps to go, and I think maybe some guys are kind of wanting another set of freshness, as Chris Severa is leading the way and did indeed have the fastest lap time on that last lap. Now, the interesting part of that is the person who had carried the fastest lap time consistently prior to that last lap was Don Avery. So Don Avery still having the fastest lap time, but still not yet able to close that gap to Chris Severa, as Chris Severa still secures a lead of some 200 thousandths, or 0.2 of a second, sorry. I tell you, Ken Allen and Gary Adamson have definitely been battling. They've got probably the best battle on the racetrack right now at this time, and they're going at it for 7th place. So our best battle on the track is that battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th right there. That's the best one that we're seeing. Looks like we got a little bit of a checkup there from Ken Aland, which is going to the 5 car into the wall. Actually, not exactly what he was expecting. Greg Wachinski actually washed up and hit that outside wall as Ken Aland checked up going into the turn. Not sure what that was about, but that's definitely not gonna wear well on that 5 car. These cars, no one likes to hit the wall. Looks like he's got a little bit of right front fender damage, but may not have too much of an effect on him at all. But that's going to be the kind of thing that's going to bring that caution out. It's going to be someone's going to drive it in just a little bit too hard and end up either hitting somebody or hitting the wall. And then that's when I think if we have a shot at seeing the caution, that's when it's going to be. But I just wouldn't want to be that guy though. Wayne Grassi is still on the hunt, finding himself in 4th place, chasing Josh Schaffner down. But Kenny Powell there in 5th place, trying to see if he can actually get back up into the hunt a little bit as well. Come 25 laps to go before we can put this one in the books. Yep, looks like that 95 car of Eric Kling is also going to find himself out of this competition as well. Still got an epic battle going on here between Gary Adamson and Robert Pattingale for that 6th place. This Pattingale looks like he's going to go ahead and find his way onto the inside. Just underneath that frame there, you're going to see Powell start to come into focus. So Pattingale seems to be on the move. And a new car has taken the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lead change. Looks like Don Avery has slipped by Chris Severa and is now our new race leader. As that 17 car Robert Pattingale continues to close the distance on Kenny Powell, looks like Don Avery is stretching his lead out as well onto our stage 1 and 2 winner, Chris Severa. Not sure what has happened to Severa. Maybe he just kind of stepped out, or maybe Avery just had a better setup. But for right now, Avery is definitely proving himself to be the car to beat. His drivers are doing just what they can do right now. It looks like we're some 21 laps to go left in this thing if it were to go green. Now, this is why I said some drivers might actually have to pit twice. So I'm interested to see if someone is going to actually have to come back down the pit road. It looks like Chris Johnson. Wait. Looks like Brian Johnson. Sorry. Looks like Brian Johnson finds himself on pit road. Now Don Avery sporting some 6/10 of a lead against second place Chris Rivera. Chris probably not used to seeing anybody actually out front of him on this race. I can only imagine that can't be sitting well with him right now. He definitely had the fastest car and the car to beat. So it'd be interesting to see now if Avery can keep this thing clean. Can he keep his car? And there, yet we have another caution. Looks like
Clear ahead.
as caution flies again, we're going to try to see what exactly brought that caution out. And that's going to make things interesting, because now with this caution, looks like we're going to be somewhere around maybe 15 to go when this thing goes green. So definitely not what Don Avery wanted to see. Probably what Chris Rivera wanted to see. This is definitely going to shake things up. We're going to take one more break while these guys are getting. They're going to refresh themselves. I'm going to do the same. We'll be right back.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone.
AutoZone.
And welcome back, race fans, as we are about to try to put this one in the books. Two stage 3 cautions. Don't know where they came from, don't know how it happened, but that has definitely shaken things up. So now, as we are sitting here with 15 to go, we have not only a new leader, but a major shakeup in the lineup. So we'll run down. Looks like we got Don Avery, our race leader, followed by Chris Rivera. Josh Schaffner's in 3rd, Robert Pattengale 4th, Gary Adamson in 5th, Frank Flores 6th, Greg Wachinski in 7th, Wayne Grassi 8th, Ken Adlin 9th, Jay Hone in 10th, and Chris Johnson in 11th, Kenny Powell 12th, Al Kelslowski 13th. Those are the 13 cars that are on the lead lap, and those are also the 13 cars that are remaining in today's contest. So, as we predicted, I called it. I said there will be a late race caution, and there was. Now, things are going to get racy, because now, guys, no one has anything to lose. If you don't go out there now and fight for positions with a 13-car field, you're going to find yourself out of the cookies. So, interesting to see how this is going to shape up, as it looks like we're going to be one to go, and the lights are off on the pace car, which means at the end of this lap, we will resume green flag racing. Once again, we will have a one shot at a green-white checker. If that is needed, that will be considered overtime. Otherwise, this is going to look like it will be about a 14-lap shootout. Are you as excited as I am? Because this is what we came to see. The Thursday night race didn't bring it, but it looks like we got the best seats to see one of the most exciting finishes, and I'm going to build it up, right? Hopefully, we got the best seats to see one of the most exciting finishes in ISCA, and it's going to be right here. So tune in, because you're not going to want to miss this. Like I said, lights are out on the pace car, and for the first time tonight, Don Avery will actually get the lead on the flag. So we'll see if Avery is going to try to get a jump, or if he's going to actually stay and lay and wait. Oh! And he got Severa. Severa spins his tires. Avery gets a clean shot out, and he is going to be our new race leader. Severa followed all the way back to third place after, for whatever reason, he lost grip on that start. Looks like now the 17 of Pattongill is going to find himself also in the top 5. This is going to be an exciting finish to our race, as right now, Don Avery simply needs to go, baby, go. But we're going to see if Josh Schaffner is going to let that happen, or if Josh is actually going to get up there and make this a little bit racier. Just very interesting on Severa. Not sure what happened, but totally kind of taking himself out of there on that last one. I mean, very interesting. Also, we get ready to see Wayne Grossi, that 7 car, trying to Grossi is into. Looks like Grossi just there's the big one. Wayne Grossi either got into it wasn't Ken Allen, so it looks like he probably got into Kenny Powell. That's going to bring out our 4th caution. That's going to change it up even more. And I was just saying, hopefully Grossi will be able to keep this car clean, man, so he can get some biscuits. And then he, for whatever reason, looks like he just kind of lost it coming out of the turn there. May have even had a little bit of contact with Alan, but definitely taking out Kenny Powell as well as Al Koslowski. Those guys definitely aren't going to be pretty happy, because to make it this far in the race and then to have that come out, that is just an unfortunate set of circumstances. If we're following right here, we'll see Grossi just getting a little bit loose, and that's all it took. She broke back, and he tags the 28 car, runs into the front of Powell. So that is definitely not a good shot for Powell, as he took one straight onto the kisser. So that's definitely going to change some things for those guys. Well, it's getting even more and more exciting. It looks like it's going to be a 10-lap shootout. We took this thing and we went out there. We're green. We were green and clean. And then we come to the end of this thing, it looks like we're just messing all over ourselves. So just going to be an interesting end of this to see just how this thing's going to play out. Because I'm going to guarantee you this. I will make a guarantee. I will guarantee you that Chris Severa is not going to spin his tires again and mess up that opportunity. I could only see Don Avery's eyes get so much bigger when he saw Severa actually start to bobble that thing, because that's the best shot that he had winning this. But now that we're going to get all stacked up again, who knows what's going to unfold for us. As the pace car leads us on down, and we're going to be 10 to go. I mean, we're 10 to go. So I'll run down your field again. We got Don Avery in first, with Josh Schaffner holding that 2nd place. Chris Severa in 3rd place, Robert Pattongill in 4th place, Gary Adamson in 5th, Ken Agland in 6th, Chris Johnson 7th, Al Koslowski going to be in 8th. Now, the cars that I know were damaged in that: Kenny Powell, Wayne Grossi, Frank Flores and Jay Home. It's going to be interesting, as well as Greg Wachinski. Be interesting to see what these guys do, how many of them are going to make it back out there, and if they're even going to be able to get their cars running again. We just tore up a lot of good cars, and that's a very unfortunate turn of events because, I mean, we had done so well for so long. Now, as the pace car is going to start to double these things up again for us, we are under 10 to go. Looks like the lights are still on the pace car, but I don't think that'll be that way for long. And we're going to try to have ourselves an exciting finish. Now, I don't imagine in any way, shape, or form that we're going to get up to 15 cautions, but what a turn of events that has occurred here. I mean, like I said, the first stage, no caution. Second stage, no caution. Third stage, how many cautions do we got? Third stage, I think it's three cautions now. So yeah, we've had 5 cautions now for 16 laps, and two of those were stages. So 10 laps to go, 150 laps completed. Looks like we got 9 cars left in this thing. And the 9 cars that are left, looks like they're all still running. It does not appear that we have any lap cars in the field. So the 9 cars that we have are the 9 cars that are in contention. That is Don Avery in first, Josh Schaffner second, Christopher third, Robert Pattingill in fourth, Gary Adamson fifth, Ken Aland sixth, Chris Johnson seventh, El Koslowski in eighth, and now Kenny Powell in ninth. So as the lights are off on the pace car now, we will be set to resume green flag racing. Once again, we're gonna watch and see how Avery stacks us up, and if Josh Schaffner can get a good launch, or if Avery's gonna actually take advantage and run away. This is the most exciting time of the race right now because, like I said, it's anybody's race. I mean, so as the pace car is coming around the turn, we will be set to resume green flag racing. These drivers are starting to stack up those 2 lines and get side by side. Everybody's paying attention. We're going to see how this goes. As Don Avery is set to take, and he is launched on the green flag, and he did indeed get an excellent launch. As the 11 car, Don Avery, is going to go ahead and take us into the turn, and he is going to lead us down as we go with 7 to go. Chris Severa is going to be patiently tucked in behind Josh Schaffner. Now, it's going to be interesting to see who's got the faster car at this stage in the game, Severa or Schaffner. They've been battling back and forth all night, with Schaffner just not seeming to have enough to close the gap or the distance. So, does Severa have enough? Does Severa have enough power left in his car that he can not only pass Schaffner and then contend with Avery for the lead, but he still has to get through Josh Schaffner? Now, Josh is going to try to keep Severa from making that move, but in the meantime, he still has to close down our race leader, Don Avery. Avery, all he wants to see in his rearview mirror is that pink car Severa just all over Josh Schaffner, because all that's doing is writing that check for him. As we get ready to come down to 5 to go, it is Don Avery taking us around the turn, followed closely by Josh Schaffner, Chris Severa, Robert Pattingill, and Ken Aland round out your top 5. Now, if this isn't a top 5 that we haven't seen before, that's because I don't think we have seen it before. But what we will notice is that there is a big gap between that 3rd place car, Chris Severa, and that 4th place car of Robert Pattingill. So, if this is going to be anybody's race, I think the race is going to actually occur by the guys up front. It'll be interesting to see what occurs later on, further back in the field. But I think it looks like the race is actually that race lead is going to, those top 3 cars are going to be the ones that are going to be fighting and battling it out for the end of this thing. Now, the end of this thing can't come fast enough for one driver, and that driver is going to be Don Avery, because he right now stands the best chance of putting himself in that winner's circle. It'd be interesting to see, though, because I know somebody out there that's thirsty for it, and that's going to be Josh Schaffner. So it's going to be interesting to see just how long Schaffner waits, or if he's actually able to go ahead and get a run and actually try to contend for the lead. Now, we're going to looks like we might have to contend with the lap car of Greg Wyszynski. But it shouldn't be a factor. But if any, he's going to go ahead and go low. If anything, that would be the only thing that would kind of mess this up a little bit. But it looks like everybody's going to have plenty of room, no factor. And Schaffner is coming down to the inside to challenge for the race lead. Look like Chris Severa is going to follow. Now, Don Avery washes up the track just a little bit, but he's still going to do everything he can to try to protect his position, as we are 3 wide for the race lead going into the turn. And Chris Severa is going to come out with all the... Oh, wait, it's not over. Josh Schaffner fighting in the middle, coming around the outside. Is he going to do it? Yes, he's going to be able to hold off Chris Severa. Now, Schaffner has the lead with 3 to go. I told you this was going to be an exciting race. Now, is Don Avery out of this thing, or is he going to set up Severa for a run himself to come back in and try to challenge for the race lead? Chris Severa now, Josh Schaffner now, bringing us to, looks like we got 2 to go. 2 to go, so 2 more times around this thing. If Josh Schaffner can hold off Chris Severa, he's going to find himself in the winner's circle. But you know who's not going to want that to happen? That's Don Avery. Avery is going to, right now he knows that if he doesn't make a move, he doesn't have an opportunity. He won't get another chance. Severa led almost every race in this thing. A late race bobble causes him to lose the race lead to Avery. Then he bobbles on the restart, but now he finds himself in the best possible position as Josh Schaffner brings us to the white flag. This is the final lap. This is for all the marbles. Is Schaffner going to do it? As Josh looks like Severa gets a little loose again. Schaffner has the front end of that Premier Chevrolet in the win, as he is going to cruise for his victory in the AutoZone 200. Severa a little bit out of sorts, not giving up yet, but there's your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Schaffner. Josh Schaffner is our race winner, followed by Chris Severa, Don Avery, Chris Johnson, Robert Pattingale, Ken Hanlon, Kenny Powell, Gary Adamson. We will run down the line this finish. What an exciting race that we just had. What an exciting finish. So your official race finish is going to be Josh Schaffner, followed by Chris Severa, followed by Don Avery, 4th place, Chris Johnson, 5th place, Robert Pattingale. Congratulations there. 6th place, Ken Aland. 7th place, Kenny Powell. 8th place, Gary Adamson. 9th, Al Kozlowski and Greg Wyszynski rounded out your top 10. 11th place, Frank Flores. 12th place, Jay Hones. 13th, Wayne Grossi. 14th, Brian Johnson. 15th, Eric Kling, 16th, John Mullins, and 17th, Joshua O'Connor rounds out our field here. But way to go, Josh Schaffner, as he brings it home with his Premier Chevrolet. That has got to be an awesome feeling. Those guys put on a hell of a race. I don't know if we're going to be able to cue these guys up or not. All right, so awesome. We will have our race winner here pretty soon with Josh Schaffner. Josh Schaffner, this is Big Al up in the booth. How are you feeling right now?
Feeling good. That was quite a race there. I just kind of had to get up on the wheel there. I didn't think I had the pace that Chris and Don had on the short run, and maybe had a little more pace in the car than what I thought I did. But yeah, it was a heck of a battle. I think we were 3 wide there heading into one with Chris on the inside, and Don. Everyone did a great job holding their line, and I had to, with Chris down there, I thought I could clear Don there, and I had to kind of pinch him down there. And once we got out front, we are just lucky enough to just hit my marks and stay out front. But it wasn't there till the end. I really wasn't a contender till the end, but sometimes that's the way these races play out.
Yeah, Chris Rivera's leading this thing, and all of a sudden, here comes Josh Schaffner out of nowhere. So, at which point did you actually think that, hey guys, I think we got a shot at winning this thing?
Well, with the late caution, the one thing about racing here, and I don't think my car was that far off tonight. I just really couldn't quite find the right pace of the race. Just trying to manage how hard do you push early to a short run, mid run, long run. I thought I had a great long run pace, and I was just struggling to find the right pace. And I thought Chris and Don just really, I thought they had great 30-lap pace. And if I tried to match it, I felt like I'd fall off a little too much. And then on the third stage here, I just maybe held back a little too much. I was making good pace at the end, but it was just a little bit too late. But just a really fun race for those guys, and just an exciting finish.
An exciting finish it was. So next week we head into North Wilkesboro. It's got to be awesome feeling for you carrying in the momentum of a win there. So what are your thoughts on next week's race?
I love the racetrack, just love short track racing in general, and that's just a really fun track, and kind of a driver's track again. You really got to hit your marks and your line. It obviously different than this, but just really looking forward to getting to North Wilkesboro next week.
Awesome. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, many people, especially want to thank Tucson Sound Art just for sponsoring this series. Maybe don't shout them out enough, but special thanks to them. Obviously, everybody at the ISCA. Al, you up in the booth, and all the good work you guys do up there in the broadcast. Appreciate it. And got to thank Premier Racing Setups. The setups been great all week. Got to thank everybody there for providing the great setups that they do each week for us to come out here and compete with. And obviously you got to thank Smith Farms. I know some of the guys there. Todd was tuning in. He's been texting me already for the race win. And Pioneer Cateva and just all our great partners that help us each week.
Well, congratulations to you again. Thanks very much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Al.
And I think we're going to see if we can dial up our second place finisher, Chris Rivera. Hey, Chris, this is Big Al up in the booth. Man, what a show you put on. I mean, it looked like this was yours to win. You come out strong, qualify on the pole, first stage winner, second stage winner, and then all of a sudden, what happened?
I don't know. There at stage 3, we didn't take out the changes that we did for earlier on, so we were just way loose. Big shout out to Don. He just straight up outdrove me there in that third stage. Really unfortunate the caution came out when it did. But after that, I still thought it was over after he beat me off pit road there. But man, it's just fun to go out there on a track like this and just be able to brawl with real good guys out there that going to hold their line and race clean, and man, it was just a blast.
Yeah, you guys were 3 wide there for the lead there coming to the end. I was on the edge of my seats. But what happened there with that bobble on the restart?
Oh, so I was on the outside. I was like looking at my driver's side window, trying to time best I could when Don was going to go, because you don't get a good jump if you get hung on the outside. You can go back a couple spots real quick. Unfortunately, I think he said he got bumped from the rear, and I kind of reacted to that, and I never 100% got my head straight. And next thing I knew, it was fishtailing all around. I'm just glad, like I said, everybody's got the head on their shoulders and gave me some space to collect it.
Well, great save, great racing for you guys. Great showing here as we head into North Wilkesboro. Great momentum. But what are your thoughts? Any because obviously the two tracks really don't compare. But what are you guys taking with you, and what are you looking for most for next week?
Man, I mean, if we can get tough, tight racing like how we do here, man, it's going to be a blast there, because North Wilkesboro is you can get the right guys running side by side, there's an extra banking up there on the top line. You can make it work. So that's going to be real exciting.
Awesome, and we can't wait. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to, Chris?
Again, just as always, everyone at G&G, guys did a lot of work on the setup. Want to bring a big awareness to the breast cancer awareness. You know, it's not as big a thing as in guys, but still go get yourselves guys checked out, gals as well. Tucson Sound Art for letting us do what we do, putting this on for us. Really appreciate you guys. And you guys, as always, man, you guys do a great job up there. So real appreciate you.
Well, thank you and congratulations to you, sir. Good evening. Well, everybody, this is Al Nixon, and on behalf of our sponsor, the Tucson Sound Art Butt Kicker Cup and the AutoZone 200, we thank you guys for tuning in. Tune in again next week as we get ready to go to North Wilkesboro. I'm excited and hope to see you all there, ladies and
Al,
gentlemen.
before I go, I want to give a shout out to my third place finisher, Don Avery, man. If he wasn't pushing us here, man, he wouldn't have been able to get us to where we were. So,
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know we had Don Avery. Don Avery, Big Al, are you available, sir?
Sure, I'm here, Al.
Don, sorry, did not want to overlook you, but what a showing you guys put on tonight, man. You were up front. It was yours. How were you feeling up there showing the way?
I felt like we had pretty good pace there on the long runs. I know Chris was running pretty hard there and it looked like he was getting a little free there. So I just got an opportunity down there in 1 and 2 to get around him and put it out front. Had fun running out there.
Man, and you guys looked like professionals as you were going 3 wide for the race lead at the end of this thing. That was awesome. So, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to? I know we don't get to talk to you that much, but thank you so much for what you do. Is anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, the guys over at Triad Enterprise Racing for the setups and the work that they do, and Sousa Media, who sponsors us, and then Tucson Sound Art, and you guys up in the booth, and Kenny for putting all this on. Appreciate all you guys.
Well, Roger that, and we're going to be excited to seeing you next week at North Wilkesboro. Thank you very much for your time, sir, and have a good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Big Al, and on behalf of the Tucson Sound Art Saturday Night Butt Kicker Cup and the AutoZone 200 and all of our other sponsors and the ISCA and Kenny Powell, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good evening.